right, welcome to week 5 of our Mindfulness Meditation class. 5 out of 6. We'll begin with a seated meditation. So as always, we find a comfortable position, feet flat on the floor. We find a position for our hands that's comfortable, and if possible, try to have a straight back. Not rigid, but straight. This allows for alert attention, as well as allows a good space for our breathing, which is the primary focus of our concentration during this time. We can have our eyes closed or gently gazing down forward. We begin by feeling our body, feeling our feet on the floor. Feeling our pelvis on the seat. Feeling our hands in their resting positions. Feeling our shoulders and neck, and if there's any tension there, let the shoulders drop. Notice any other areas of tension, perhaps in the face, in the back, and let it release. Take a deep in breath and a long out breath. Let our breathing just be natural, not controlled, but we notice each breath. We take note. That's what we're concentrating on at this time. Note each in breath and each out breath. And we may say to ourselves, in, out. Rising, falling. We notice, what do we feel like right now? Do we feel drowsy, perhaps, or anxious, or just alert and calm? Just notice what it feels like. Notice each breath, in and out. Whether we notice it most at the nostrils, the chest, or the belly, focus on that place. It's just the physical sensation of breathing. And when our attention wanders, thoughts, sensations, or emotions may occur, and we just note that, oh, not breath, and come back to the breath. We get carried off in little stories about what happened today, or what we might be having for supper, or whatever. And it may be helpful to notice if this is something about the past or about the future. Note that, and we come back to the present, noting each breath. Whatever happens during this time. We meet whatever comes with kind of a curiosity. Oh, there's that thought again. And then let it go and come back to the breath. This is training our minds in mindfulness, which we can apply all the time. Mindfulness is paying attention on purpose and non-judgmentally to whatever happens in the present. We can also call it kind attention, because we're being kind to ourselves. We're not berating ourselves for not being a better meditator, or for having thoughts that are out of control, or things we've done. Right now, we're just noticing those things and letting them go. By devoting some time every day to this practice, we're developing those neural pathways, the patterns and habits in our mind that make it possible for us to do this throughout our day. We notice what's happening. We take the time to breathe. Notice how we feel about what's happening. By being honest with ourselves about this, we can learn to respond wisely to whatever happens in our lives. We have a very small group here this evening, 3 of us. which is okay. And anybody who's watching it at home, welcome as well. So this is week 5. In the first week, we focused on this breathing meditation, which is the core of our practice. Noticing what is mindfulness, developing a formal practice every day, and also working on our informal practice during our days. Weeks 2 and 3, we were on the topic of awareness of the body, which is also a focus of our attention. There are 4 different kinds of specific meditations we learned. The body scan, some easy yoga or mindful stretching, did an eating meditation where we ate a raisin. What's the other one? Walking meditation. Yes, so they're all different ways of focusing our attention on our body. And we can each pick whichever of these 5 things we've done for our core practice. I think the sitting is best, but for some people, they just soon stay with the body scan, which is wonderful. The body scan is valuable because it's a little bit more focused rather than just the breath. There's a specific part of the body. And picking which practice to do also depends on the time and how we're feeling that day. So the walking meditation is particularly valuable when we are either very restless and can't sit still, or perhaps we're so tired we're falling asleep while we're sitting, and we can get up and do the walking. And the walking obviously can be done at different paces. Very, very slow, where you're really focused on each step, or perhaps if you're outside, you can still focus on the movement of your body, but you're also noticing what's happening around you very much. And it's amazing, isn't it, how many things capture your attention during that time. Then in week 4, last week, we talked about how we deal and notice thoughts and emotions. And particularly, we talked about a way of, rather than just letting go of thoughts, if something is very powerful, to stay with it and to explore it a bit. And we specifically what we sometimes call the RAIN meditation, where you recognize, accept, investigate, and then non-identify with whatever's happening. In week 5, today, we're exploring loving kindness meditation. Sharon is wonderful at sharing this. She's one of the experts on loving kindness meditation, and this chapter is very valuable. In loving kindness meditation, our focus is on certain phrases we offer for different people. It seems quite different. It's not just paying attention to what's happening. We're very intentional about these phrases. And people react differently to this kind of practice. I certainly have. But I've certainly learned that it really is a way of developing mindfulness toward other people. It really works. I have thought it's kind of hokey. Why should I say these things like I love everyone? I don't. But if with regular practice, just saying these phrases without even attaching any feeling to them. Just saying that phrases does help you pay attention to yourself and other people, and also to react more kindly to all different kinds of people. So they really work. There are a lot of different variations you can use on the phrases. I have 4 phrases that I use that I'll share with you today, and we'll go through a guided meditation doing the loving kindness, and then we'll talk about it, okay? I think maybe before that, I always like to check in with people on how your practice is going. I like to find out if you have a regular time and place, if you, what style of practice of these that you are using, and what experiences or questions you might have. Anything?
I do the meditations in the morning, and this past week it was crazy because I had people, some families stay at my house from out of town, and they're the type of people that want to be with you and talk all the time. So I struggled a lot because sometimes I just need some downtime. I'm a little bit of an introvert, and I need to kind of like need that day to get my energy back up. So I struggled a lot, and I realized how much I needed. But as I was reading the loving kindness chapter, like right off the get-go, I immediately felt heat right in my heart. So this is a chapter that I definitely need, not only for probably loving kindness for myself, but for some others, because in the past I've tried to help people so much but then you come to that realization that you can't help them if they don't want to help themselves. So I completely separated myself from that, and I don't let my emotions like get too involved with them. So this chapter, I think it's like kind of opening up old wounds, but also will be healing. So and then what type of meditations that I like are probably, I do the guided, but I want to challenge myself more with non-guided, because I think that's, for me, that's going to be better for me. And also I do laying down one at night when I can't sleep, and I find that helps me fall asleep.
Thanks. Glennie, want to offer anything?
Yeah, well, we went away for the weekend, so you had company. we were the company. So I only practiced 4 times this week. And I try to intentionally have a time in the morning. I like the morning before work or before I have breakfast, or just if I do it first thing, it seems to put me in the right frame of mind for going through my day. So that's my preference, but I also am working at not beating myself up when I miss it or skip it. And then I have the Healthy Mind app. So if I have skipped it, I'll get home from work, run upstairs, lie on my bed, and do, and they're short, they're 6 to 7 minutes, I'm still 6 to 10 minutes maybe. But I really like those. And you're right, they are different. When I'm quiet and peaceful with no sound, it's like I'm the one connecting with the environment around me and with myself, and that's a wonderful thing. And the guided is very different, but I think equally just different. And I have been known to fall asleep. But I'm enjoying it.
My practice has been okay. Most days I do my regular pattern of first thing getting up and doing some reading, doing some brief yoga, and then sitting for 40 minutes. If I'm real busy that day, I might curtail it to 20 or 30 minutes. Or sometimes if I have something very early, I do it some other time during the day. So it would be extremely rare for me to miss a 20-minute per day meditation. In terms of the informal practice, I try to pay attention while I'm brushing my teeth, and I notice what thoughts come when I come back to brushing my teeth. Walking, I'll go for walks, and I'll come to my walking pattern, I'll notice what's going on around me, and then I'll notice I'm thinking about what I'm going to do the next day. Notice that, and I just come back. And I do have a lot of planning is one of my big things. I was really planning a lot about our wedding, which is in 5 weeks, and I feel kind of nervous about that and all the things to plan. And I just say, okay, there it is. Just be with it. Try to come back to the breath. Planning again. Okay, it's all right. Sometimes it works better than others. So the loving kindness meditation, I have a handout that has some phrases you can use. Sharon has a whole bunch of different kinds of phrases, and you want to pick some that work for you. Typically, we would offer this. It's just wishing well. Okay. Now you can think of it as a prayer, which is equally helpful. And in fact, there are studies that show that prayer works. That they've done double-blinded studies where some sick person had people praying for them, and another person didn't, and the people who had people praying for them got better more often. But what I'm focusing on is just using this as a mindfulness exercise, training ourselves, thinking about other people. So whether or not these wishes of goodwill work to affect anyone else in the world doesn't matter too much. It affects us, how we feel. So that's the primary thing. And typically you can start with yourself. That's how I do. Start with myself. Some people find it hard to wish themselves well, but start with yourself and then move out to other groups of people, which I'll guide us in right now. So once again, we will take our posture and we'll start by a little centering and grounding activity. And then I'll lead us through these phrases and offering them to different people. Feel our body. And notice our breath rising and falling. And we say these phrases silently to ourselves. Repeat that silently to yourself after each phrase that I offer. We'll start by focusing on ourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Now we bring to mind a benefactor, a teacher, or a loved one. Try to picture this person in our mind. Could be a pet. And we offer these phrases to this person. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Now we bring to mind someone we know who is hurting, who is ill, suffering, experiencing emotional trauma, someone we would like to help. And we just offer these phrases to that person. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Now we bring to mind just a random person, someone who we may see but don't know very well, perhaps someone who works at the library or at the grocery store or at the post office, just a person you don't know. But a specific person. And we offer these phrases to them. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Now we bring to mind a difficult person, someone we perhaps don't like or disagree with, or we think is acting improperly. bring these phrases to this person. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. And lastly, we'll just offer this to all beings, all the people in our community, in our state, in our world, to plants and animals. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be well. May all beings be peaceful and at ease. May all beings be happy. And maybe pause for a minute and just notice how we feel after doing this. Let's talk about our experience with this loving kindness meditation.
I guess it's kind of freeing in a way. I don't know, I don't feel as heavy as I did. And I did start, because I read the chapter where you had to pick someone that you necessarily didn't get along with, and it made me, it was a work person, a manager, and it made me realize how shut out I've been just because of my past job and how burnt out I got. I don't want to overextend myself to certain people because they can take a lot from you. So I've been very shut off, and I noticed, like, in the past where I thought about it, she's been extending invitations to me, and I've been kind of turning her down, and I was thinking, okay, you need to like reciprocate and be nicer to her, and just be more maybe compassionate, or I don't know what the word is. I'm not rude to her by any means, but I'm not like putting myself out there. So it was a good wake up.
That's a good example. And Sharon in the talk also says, this doesn't mean we're patsies, that we just lie down and let people abuse us, does it?
Right.
We know when to stand back, but it's just a change in attitude, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like these phrases because they are broad enough that they can have different applications depending on the different people.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, if we say, may you be filled with loving kindness, when I think about my mother-in-law in the nursing home, I think, I hope all the people there are loving her.
Mm-hmm.
Or when I think about somebody, a politician, for instance, that I disagree with, I think, may love grow in you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're variable. May you be well. usually physical health, so it's very helpful for those we're thinking about who are suffering, but it just means okay in general. And all the same goes with peaceful and at ease. At ease sort of means, I hope life isn't too hard on you, you know? What is happiness? May you be happy. Well, that's very broad too, but as we do this, we notice that that's what we all want. Each one of us wants to be happy, and whatever that means. And when we do this, we begin to see these difficult people or family members that we are having trouble with. They have reasons for why they're acting this way. They've been under stress, they have their past conditioning, whatever has happened, and that deepens our awareness of what's going on around us. So, like me, if you find this practice distasteful or just not for me, I urge you just to try it. I do it every day after my sitting meditation. After sitting for 40 minutes, I'm pretty stiff. I lie down and I do loving kindness. And I usually focus on certain people in my life, people I've been interacting with recently. Depends. Sometimes it's very short, sometimes it's longer, but doing it every day makes a difference, just like the other practices. And actually, in one of the books in our book list, the author cites doing brain studies on meditators who this is their whole practice, who do this for years, and they had the biggest changes in their brains of any meditators at all. So it's a very powerful practice. I have some handouts about this. Actually, one, which we'll go through. Look first at the cartoon on the page and tell me what that means to you. So I'll describe it to those of you who can't see it. It has somebody on a bicycle. On the top panel is your plan, which is just a nice smooth downhill grade, so just smoothly. And the lower panel says reality, and in this place it goes down, there's rain, bumpy, it goes into a lake, it goes up and down, and that's supposed to represent reality. How do you think that applies to mindfulness meditation?
How your mind can wander.
Yes.
Just bring it back.
Yes. The hills and valleys could be that, right? It's not always the same. We sometimes say there's never a bad meditation. Sometimes it doesn't feel as good, or it seems like you're very distracted, but just by doing it, you're making progress. It can also represent how mindfulness helps you deal with these hills and valleys of life. That you still go through them, but you experience them with a better attitude, tolerating them better, and you come through them better, with better health. at the top of the page is something called the 4 boundless qualities. And these are all things that we are developing in our practice that kind of follow each other. So the first one, loving kindness, which is what we are practicing, that is offering goodwill to oneself, others, and all beings. So it's just phrases, there's no, we're not acting on it, we're not even thinking necessarily that we're going to like these people, we just say the phrases. It's just offering goodwill. Now out of this, you may develop the next one, which is compassion. So as you do the loving kindness, you may begin to develop where you are feeling what other people are feeling to a certain extent, empathy. So there is emotion involved in that one. Loving kindness, not necessarily any emotion, it's just a practice. Compassion, you're starting to say, oh, you're this way, you're happy. Let's say you're happy. Oh, I feel it. I feel why you're happy. Well, that leads into the next one, sympathetic joy, which is a feeling of joy for the success and blessings of others. So often in life, we feel like there's only so much good to go around, and we feel like if somebody else is being successful, we are jealous, we feel like we should have had that, and in this practice, we intentionally notice that and direct our mind in a different way. So for me, this happens on the golf course. And it happens every time. I notice it and I think, oh, he went in the sand trap, all right. I'm gonna score better this time. Or he had a really good drive and I think, oh, geez, he's gonna beat me again. And I just notice that and I say, why should I think that? It doesn't help him or me. And I just say to myself, wow, very good. I'm so glad you're doing well. So this happens so many times in our life, but it's something we can develop. It's sort of another quality. And the fourth one, equanimity, even-mindedness in the midst of suffering, is sort of, Kim, what you're talking about with your work person or the people in your house, that they may be doing stuff that you don't like, or that they're not well, and you can't do anything about it, right? So this is a place where we can just kind of step back and feel these things, and even if we can't help, we have more of an even-mindedness. Now, especially when you think of all the suffering in the world, the wars, the hunger, all the people who are treated brutally at home, it just can get you down. And with mindfulness, you can develop a quality where you know that's going on, and you may act in some way, but you can step back and just say, there are some things that I can't help. And just by, I think, just by becoming more mindful, we're helping in some small way. So I think those are worth cultivating, and this loving kindness is a kind of a jumping off point for those. Sorry. The last one is the chant of goodwill, and these are the phrases that I use, and I can remember them so well because I learned this little chant. It's like a little song that I will do with you. On the page, when you see an up arrow, that's kind of an indication that the pitch goes up, and a down arrow means the pitch goes down. So There are three verses. I'll do each one twice, and if you want to join in with me on the second time through with each verse, please do. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy. So I just found this to be pleasant and a good reminder of the phrases. It's a pleasant little, and you know, it's got to have the meaning associated with it. So if a tune is stuck in my head for the day, this is a good one. Or if there's a tune that I don't like, I can remind myself of this tune and it'll help me get rid of that other one. So if that's useful, try it.
There was a handout last week that you gave to the other classes, I think, but we didn't get, and I think it was a yellow paper.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember that.
Good. Let's share that one. It's called The Pause. I decided there was so much other stuff last week that this didn't have to be put in there, but it did kind of fit with what we were going through. But it goes equally well just on its own. So this is just a reminder of a way to stop in the middle of our day when something is stressful. So let's go through and read the 4 paragraphs. Kim, do you mind reading the first paragraph?
Sure. The pause is a way of slowing down. It is a way of having some space between what we hear, what we see, even what we think and what we say. The pause is a time when we can really take in what's been said, how we are feeling, and the whole flavor of the moment. During the pause, we become aware of the body, become aware of our feelings. We come home to being in the moment of this particular experience right now. Even as you are reading this, even as you're sitting here now, you can pause and simply notice. What position is this body in? How am I feeling right now? Notice if you have any tensions or any particular wandering thoughts. The essence of the pause is mindfulness. It is being aware.
Glennie?
Of course, when reactions such as liking and disliking or other emotions are very strong, we are not as aware of what is going on around us or of our own inner responses. The pause is a time to be aware, but we also realize that to be aware in this way, we need to step out of whatever reaction has taken us over in that moment. Sometimes these reactions are obvious, such as anger. We need to pause, take some time. Most of us have heard the advice, when you are angry, count to 10 before you speak. It is like that. But such reactions also unfold and take us over when they are positive and feel good. You may be in a reaction of excitement or enjoying something that someone said, but not just enjoying it in the moment. You may be actually moving into your own automated story, habitual and conditioned. It's as if there is a kind of a push that comes from your past or that comes from some emotional motor that was ready to be turned on.
Mhm. The pause lets us step out of that reaction and into this moment. We step into knowing the sensations of the body. We step into knowing the pleasant and unpleasant sensations as they arise, and the emotions and thoughts that never seem to rest. We are aware in this moment. This is the pause. One could say that practicing the pause is a kind of antidote or healing for that tendency to react so quickly that there is no awareness, no will or volition, just the conditioned reaction. Introducing the pause, we open to a fresh awareness, stepping into this moment in a new and clean, clear way. This feels like coming home, like resting in the body. Ah, here I am. From there, we can speak, we can really listen, and we can come closer to knowing things as they are. So the pause is a practice, and it's also a goal, of course. Well, I thought this was just phrased so beautifully. I like that one sentence that Glennie read. It's as if there is a kind of push that comes from your past, or that comes from some emotional motor that was ready to be turned on. And that's what gets us into trouble so often. And if we can slow down a little bit, notice what's going on, we can respond wisely. So in the coming week, keep up your practice. If you are practicing for 10 minutes, try to make it up to 15, okay? Try to, if you're doing it 4 days a week, try to do 5. Keep up with your informal practice as well, all right? And read the rest of the book up to page 199. So next week is kind of talking about putting it all together and where do we go from here. One thing that I'm going to suggest that we can consider is meeting like this is part of the practice. Having a group is really helpful. And if any of you want to continue meeting like this, if it's okay with the library, we could still keep doing that. It would be less formal, but if we have a time every week that people find valuable to meet, to read something, to share our experience, and to sit together, that can strengthen our practice. And I'll keep coming until nobody else comes, okay? Maybe not every week, we'll have to decide that. But we can talk about that next week if you want to.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else? That's one thing my girlfriend says when there's another complication in life that comes up. Anything else? And then we kind of laugh at it. I think that's healthy. Well, we'll have a short sitting meditation to close. We feel our body in this position. And we notice our breath. One breath at a time. You may notice some sounds. You may notice the thoughts that pass. Thoughts are like clouds. They pass, we notice them, we let them pass, and we can think of behind the clouds as a clear blue sky that is our clear awareness. We thank ourselves for our practice and we resolve to continue. Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.